Some secrets are hidden in plain sight, written on skin, carried for decades, waiting for the right moment to reveal themselves. This is the story of a tattoo that connected two strangers across 30 years of lies, loss, and impossible coincidences, and how 7 whispered words at a hotel check-in desk exposed a truth that would shatter everything both of them thought they knew. Rebecca Stone was 48 years old when she checked into the Riverside Inn in Portland, Oregon. She was in town for a business conference. She ran a small consulting firm in San Francisco, helping nonprofits with fundraising strategies. It was late September, and she was exhausted from travel, looking forward to a quiet evening and an early night. Rebecca was elegant in a quiet way, silver streaks in her dark hair that she'd stopped dyeing years ago, simple clothing, minimal jewelry, the kind of woman who moved through the world without demanding attention. But she had one distinctive feature that people always noticed, a tattoo on her left forearm. It was delicate, intricate, a phoenix rising from flames, but rendered in a unique style that looked almost like watercolor, soft blues and purples instead of traditional reds and oranges. The design seemed to shimmer, depending on how the light hit it. Rebecca had gotten the tattoo on her 30th birthday, not from a tattoo parlor, but from a street artist she'd met in New Orleans during a difficult period in her life. The artist was an elderly woman who didn't have a shop, just a portable kit and decades of skill. The woman had sketched the design while they talked, listening to Rebecca's story of loss and reinvention. When she finished, she'd said something Rebecca never forgot. "This phoenix is you, rising from ashes you didn't choose. Wear it with pride." Rebecca had loved it ever since. It was a reminder that she'd survived things that could have destroyed her. She never expected it would be the key to unlocking a mystery she didn't even know existed. The young woman behind the hotel desk was named Lily Chen. She was 26, working nights to pay for nursing school during the day. It was her second year at the Riverside Inn, and she'd checked in thousands of guests. But when Rebecca Stone approached the desk and set down her credit card, Lily froze. The tattoo on Rebecca's forearm was fully visible as she filled out the registration form. Lily stared at it, her heart suddenly racing. The phoenix, the distinctive style, the exact colors, it couldn't be. "Is everything all right?" Rebecca asked, noticing Lily's expression. Lily blinked, trying to compose herself. "I'm sorry, it's just your tattoo. It's beautiful. Where did you get it?" "Thank you. New Orleans, about 18 years ago. A street artist designed it for me." Lily's hands trembled slightly as she processed Rebecca's credit card. "This might sound strange," Lily said carefully, "but my mother drew the same design, exactly the same. She was a tattoo artist in New Orleans." Rebecca's breath caught. "When?" "She worked there from the mid-90s until about 2007. She didn't have a shop. She was more of a traveling artist, did her work on the streets mostly." The air between them suddenly felt electric. "What was your mother's name?" Rebecca asked quietly. Lynn Chen. She passed away 4 years ago." Rebecca's eyes filled with tears. "Lynn, yes, she gave me this tattoo in 2006. She was remarkable. I'm so sorry for your loss." Lily nodded, swallowing hard. Would you mind if I looked at it more closely? My mother didn't keep records of her work. I only have a few photos. I've never seen one of her actual tattoos in person before." "Of course." Rebecca extended her arm across the desk. Lily came around and examined the tattoo carefully, her eyes widening with each passing second. "This is definitely her work," Lily whispered. "The way she blended the colors, the signature line work, and this." She pointed to a tiny detail in the flames. She always hid a small Chinese character in her designs. It's so subtle most people never notice. This one means strength. Rebecca looked down at her own arm in amazement. In 18 years, she'd never noticed it. Then Lily's finger traced another detail, a tiny set of initials hidden in the phoenix's wing. "Wait," Lily breathed. "These initials, RM Rebecca, is your middle name Marie?" Rebecca went very still. "How could you possibly know that?" Lily looked up at Rebecca, her face pale. "I need to show you something. My shift ends in 20 minutes. Could you wait?" Rebecca nodded, too stunned to do anything else. 20 minutes later, Lily emerged from the back office with her backpack. "There's a coffee shop next door. Can we talk there?" They sat in a corner booth, two strangers connected by ink and impossible coincidence. Lily pulled out a worn leather journal from her backpack. "After my mother died, I found this among her things. It's her journal from her years in New Orleans. She documented every tattoo she ever did, the design, the date, and most importantly, why she created it for that specific person." She opened to a page marked with a faded ribbon. "September 23rd, 2006, Lily read aloud. "This date, does it mean anything to you?" Rebecca's eyes widened. "That's the day I got the tattoo." Lily turned the journal around so Rebecca could see. There, sketched in careful detail, was the exact phoenix on Rebecca's arm, and beneath it, handwritten notes. "Rebecca Marie, 30 years old, San Francisco. Came to New Orleans running from grief. Lost her daughter 5 years ago. Adoption that was supposed to be open, but the adoptive family disappeared. She's been searching ever since. Designed this phoenix because she is rising from ashes. Strong woman. Sad eyes. Gave her my P.O. box address. In case she ever needs anything. Something about her reminds me of myself." Rebecca couldn't breathe. She read the words again and again. "How did she know all of this?" Rebecca whispered. "My mother had a gift," Lily said softly. "She could see people, really see them. And they told her things they'd never told anyone else. She said tattooing was intimate. You're literally putting art into someone's body. People opened up during that process." Rebecca's hands shook as she held the journal. "I did tell her everything about my daughter, about the adoption, about how the family moved and changed their names, and I lost all contact, about how it destroyed my marriage, about how I came to New Orleans to forget but couldn't." Lily watched her carefully. "There's more in the journal, may I?" Rebecca nodded. Lily flipped forward several pages. "My mother went back to that entry multiple times. Look, additional notes dated years later." Rebecca read the new entries. December 2008, still thinking about Rebecca Marie. Tried to find her using the address she gave, but letters returned. Praying she found peace. March 2011. Had a dream about the Phoenix woman again. Hope she's okay. And then one final entry from 2013. I think I know what happened to Rebecca's daughter. I think I know who has her. Rebecca looked up at Lily, tears streaming down her face. What does that mean? Did she find my daughter? Lily's own eyes were wet. I don't know. She died before she could tell me. But there's something else. Something I need to tell you. She took a deep breath. I was adopted in 2001 from San Francisco. I was 3 years old. The coffee shop seemed to tilt around Rebecca. My adoptive parents, the Chens, they were wonderful people. They raised me with so much love. But there were always things that didn't quite add up. The adoption records were sealed. My mother, Lynn, she told me I was adopted when I was young. But she was always evasive about the details. Lily pulled out her phone and opened a photo album. After she died, I found this. It's the only photo I have from before the adoption. She turned the phone toward Rebecca. The photo showed a tiny girl, maybe 2 years old, with dark curls and bright eyes, holding a stuffed rabbit. Rebecca gasped. She knew that rabbit. She'd given it to her daughter the day she was born. It was custom made with the baby's name embroidered on the tag. "May I see that photo?" Rebecca asked, her voice barely audible. She zoomed in on the rabbit. There, barely visible but unmistakable, was the embroidery. Emma Rose, born April 14th, 1998. Rebecca's daughter. The baby she'd given up for adoption at 6 months old, promising herself it was the right thing to do, because she was young and poor and wanted better for her child. The baby she'd spent 25 years searching for after the adoptive family vanished. "My birthday," Lily whispered, "is April 14th, 1998. And my original name, the name Lynn told me I had before adoption, was Emma." Neither woman could speak. They just stared at each other across the table, seeing for the first time. Rebecca's hands shook as she pulled out her phone. She scrolled through her photos to a folder she kept, password protected. Photos of baby Emma, the only ones she had. She set her phone next to Lily's. Baby Emma with the rabbit, toddler Emma in the same photo, the same child. The Chens, Rebecca finally managed. Where were they from? San Francisco originally, Lily said, her voice trembling. They moved to Oregon right after they adopted me. My mother, Lynn, she said it was for a job opportunity, but now I'm wondering if they were running, Rebecca finished. The adoption was supposed to be open. I was supposed to get updates, photos, visits. But 3 months after I signed the papers, they disappeared, changed their phone number, moved without leaving a forwarding address. My lawyer tried to find them, but couldn't. Lily covered her mouth with her hand. Oh my God, Lynn must have figured it out. She must have realized who you were, what you'd lost, and then she must have realized that I was her own daughter, Rebecca whispered. She adopted you, my daughter, and never told you that she'd met your biological mother. Why wouldn't she tell me? Lily asked, crying now. Why wouldn't she tell you? Rebecca thought for a long moment. Maybe she was protecting you. If the adoption was legal, but the openness was violated, maybe she didn't want to reopen old wounds. Maybe she thought you were happy, that I'd moved on, that bringing us together would cause more pain than healing. Or maybe, Lily said slowly, she was leaving breadcrumbs, the journal, the detailed entry about you, keeping it all these years, marking it with a ribbon. She knew I'd find it eventually. She knew that if you ever came back into my life, I'd have the information I needed. Rebecca looked down at the tattoo on her arm. The phoenix, the hidden character for strength, the initials RM that she'd never noticed. She put my initials in my own tattoo, Rebecca said in wonder. Like a signature, like a claim, like she was saying, you're not forgotten. They didn't leave the coffee shop for hours. They talked about everything. Rebecca told Lily about her pregnancy at 21, her decision to give Emma up for adoption because she was alone and scared, how she'd regretted it every day since, how she'd spent 25 years looking. Lily told Rebecca about her childhood with Lynn and her husband Marcus Chen. How loving they were. How Lynn always encouraged her to be strong, to be kind, to never forget where she came from, even though Lily didn't know where she'd come from. She knew, Lily said. She knew she was raising you. That's why she took such good care of me. That's why she always told me stories about resilience and rising from ashes. She was honoring you through me. Before they parted that night, they agreed to take DNA tests, to be sure, to have proof. The wait was excruciating. 3 weeks that felt like 3 lifetimes. When the results came back, they met again at the same coffee shop. 99.97% probability of biological relationship, mother and daughter. They held each other and cried. 25 years of searching, 25 years of wondering over. Over the following months, Rebecca and Lily pieced together what had happened. The Chens had adopted Emma through a private agency. Everything was legal, but they'd been told by the agency that Rebecca had requested a closed adoption, which was a lie. The agency had misrepresented both sides. When the Chens realized they'd been misled and that Rebecca was looking for them, they panicked. They'd fallen in love with Emma and feared Rebecca would want her back. So they moved, changed their contact information, hid. Lynn had figured it out years later when she'd met Rebecca and heard her story. She'd started putting pieces together, the timeline, the location, the details Rebecca had shared. She'd gone home and looked at 3-year-old Lily and realized this was Rebecca's daughter. But by then, Lily didn't remember her early childhood. The Chens were her parents in every way that mattered. Lynn made a choice to love Lily as her own and to keep Rebecca's secret, trusting that if they were meant to find each other, the universe would provide a way. She'd been right. A tattoo, a hotel check-in, a daughter working night shifts to pay for nursing school, the stars aligning in impossible ways. She knew I'd find the journal, Lily said. She knew I'd see your tattoo someday if you came to Portland. She was playing the long game, trusting fate. Rebecca touched the phoenix on her arm. She gave me this symbol of rising. She didn't know then that I'd rise all the way back to you. Today, Rebecca and Lily have built a relationship. It's not quite mother-daughter in the traditional sense. 25 years can't be erased, but it's something beautiful nonetheless. Rebecca helped Lily finish nursing school. Lily introduced Rebecca to her fiancé. They spend holidays together. They talk multiple times a week. Rebecca has photos of Lily's childhood now, all the years she missed. Lily has stories about her biological family, her heritage, where she came from. They visited Lynn's grave together and placed flowers, phoenix lilies. "Thank you," Rebecca whispered to the headstone. "Thank you for loving her when I couldn't. Thank you for bringing her back to me." Lily got her own tattoo last year, a phoenix designed in Lynn's exact style, using the sketches from her mother's journal. On her other arm, opposite where Rebecca's sits. "We match now," she told Rebecca, both rising, both survivors. Rebecca started a foundation in Lynn Chen's name. It helps adoptees and biological parents navigate searches and reunions. It advocates for ethical adoption practices and open records. It's funded by Rebecca's life savings and supported by hundreds of people whose lives were touched by one street artist with a gift for seeing truth. Here's what this story teaches us. Some people are placed in our lives not to stay forever, but to be bridges. Lynn Chen was a bridge. She connected a mother to a daughter across decades and distance through ink and intention. She could have told Rebecca the truth that day in New Orleans. Could have said, "I think I have your daughter." But she didn't, because wisdom isn't always about immediate action. Sometimes it's about planting seeds and trusting the harvest will come in its own time. Lily was raised with love. She had a childhood full of security and care. If Lynn had disrupted that, when Lily was 3, 7, 12, would it have been better? Or would it have created trauma? Lynn chose to wait, to document, to trust, to leave clues. And the universe honored that trust. A business conference in Portland, a hotel in need of night staff, a woman checking in at exactly the right time. Impossible odds, perfect alignment. Some people call it coincidence. Rebecca and Lily call it Lynn's final gift. My mother always said, Lily told Rebecca, that the universe conspires to help those who are meant to find each other. I thought she was being poetic. Now I know she was being literal. 25 years. That's how long Rebecca searched for her daughter. One tattoo. That's all it took to bring them back together. The phoenix rises from ashes. But sometimes it rises from ink and intention and one woman's belief that truth always finds a way. What are you searching for? What have you lost that you think is gone forever? Don't give up. Keep rising. Keep showing up. Wear your story on your skin or in your heart. Because somewhere, someone is leaving breadcrumbs. Someone is planting seeds. Someone is trusting that when the time is right, you'll find what you've been looking for. Lin Chen knew. She believed. And she was right. Your reunion is waiting. Keep searching. Keep believing. The universe is conspiring to help you. If this story gave you hope, share it. Someone who's searching needs to hear it. Subscribe for more incredible, true stories that prove some things are meant to be found. And remember, the phoenix always rises, always.